Good morning. Good morning. It is a great day today. Every day is a great day, right? It's always full of potential at 7 o'clock in the morning. Not a whole lot has happened. Anyhow, this morning I'm thinking about Exodus 34:21, which is on the seventh day you shall rest. In plowing and in harvest you shall rest. And a little while ago we had a chat with Tanya. We sat on her dock and we talked about rest, and she totally called me out and said, Jen, even when you're resting, you're organizing and thinking about stuff. And I was like, yeah. And that idea about, I've been thinking a lot about that concept of rest actually since then. And a friend of mine, as I sat down to dinner with his family, said, well, Jen, how do you rest? That's a great question. And it just got me to thinking. And so I'm out here on the lake, and I'm realizing right now I'm recording this because it's in my head. And sometimes when it's in my head, I just have to get it out, and I want to share it with you before I forget. Two things is what I'm thinking about that I wanted to share with you this morning. First of all, it says, even in plowing and harvest, you should rest. And isn't that amazing? A friend of mine, her dad was a farmer, and she said even if it had rained all week long and the only sunny day that week was Sunday, he wouldn't plow, because that was his day of rest. Like, he trusted that the Lord that he served, the God that he served, would give him a day to get the harvest in. And she said it always happened. He always got the harvest in because he trusted the Lord with that day. He set apart the Sabbath day to rest. And I was like, whoa, because sometimes we just look at our schedules and we're like, there's no possible way we can get everything done that needs to be done, because we think about the craziness of our week and we're just like, well, we have to get it done today. There just hasn't been any other time. And like, do we actually trust the Lord enough to trust him with one day to say, okay, I'm gonna rest today and trust that I've been a good steward of my time, and you're gonna help me to get everything done that I need to get done. Like, that really is an act of trust with the Lord, and that's a toughie. Like, that is a toughie. And I remember in university being really convicted after a sermon about taking a day of rest, and so I decided not to do any homework on Sunday. And wow, was it ever like fulfilling to do that, like just to be able to get up and go to church and then hang out with my friends and just enjoy the day, knowing that I had worked really hard all week long and I could trust that the Lord would help me to get everything done. I remember even saying that, Lord, would you help me to get everything done so that I can rest? And I think sometimes we forget to pray and ask God to help us do what he's asked us to do. Right? And I know it says man was not made for the Sabbath, but Sabbath was made for the man, to give them rest. And I've learned that when I take a day and I set it apart for the Lord and just to rest and do things, that's wonderful. So I think that's the first thing that I do to rest, is actually set a day aside to rest. And there's some Sea-Doos coming, so I'm hoping they see me. I am bright yellow and a pink life jacket. The second thing is try to enjoy some unhurried time where there's no schedule, like an unhurried cup of coffee, right? Where there's no time, where I can just sit and enjoy the coffee and just sit and enjoy the coffee and sit and enjoy the coffee, or go for a paddle where there's no agenda, there's no time limit. I can just go. And sometimes just having conversations with friends and, oh yeah, they see me, they're going around. That's great. Where there's no agenda, there's no time. I just sit and enjoy. And I also enjoy putting puzzles together. So sometimes I just open a puzzle, put it down, and work away and just enjoy the time with no agenda. And I think that's one of the ways I've rested is to learn to do things without an agenda and just to enjoy the moment. And that is possible. I have figured out how to do that. And because that's one of the things that I have asked the Lord for is, Lord, you need to help me to rest better. And I know I've set a day aside for you, but I don't want to just race through my week looking forward to that day, but I want to learn how to be unhurried. And I know, there I go again, there's a book about being unhurried, and I want to read it. But I think sometimes we just need to ask the Lord, how do I fulfill that verse, right? That we remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy, to learn how to rest, because God did create that for our own spirit. He wants us to enjoy. He wants us to enjoy His creation. He wants us to enjoy hanging out with people and setting aside time to be with Him and to be with people and just enjoy life. And so that's something that I'm learning, and I'm hoping that's something that you can hold on to today and just think, okay, how do I rest? How do I rest so that I am filled up, healed up, make space, body, soul, and spirit for God to come in and just bring peace and joy and healing. I think sometimes God set aside that day so He could bring His healing to all of those wound up areas. That day of rest is a time to unwind, and so it's not to busy ourselves with things that didn't get done in the week, but to trust those things to the Lord and to ask Him to help us to rest and heal up so that we're ready for what's coming next. Anyhow, those are my thoughts on rest today. One, set aside time. Set aside time. Secondly, ask God to help us to rest well. And thirdly, to be mindful when we are resting, not to be thinking about all the other things that we should be doing, we could be doing. Maybe you need to write those things down on a separate piece of paper so that they're out of your head. If you're a doer like me, you might have to do that. But to practice being unhurried in that time. To practice being unhurried. All right, my dear friends, so today I hope that you're able to have moments of unhurried time, but to give thought to how do you rest, and maybe you'll have an unhurried cup of coffee in the meantime. All right, I think you're great. Have a great day. Bye.